Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jimmy James. You're watching Football Special, a recap. It is Saturday, the 26th of December, 2024. Boxing Day to you and me. We had a pretty full day of football. A few games were victim of the weather. And there was one game that got called off due to a floodlight or a power outage. Basically, no floodlights, no lighting. That was poor old Radcliffe, but we'll get to that a little bit later on. We'll start off with the English Premier League and lunchtime kick-off. Manchester City, they took on Everton, and it did not go according to plan. Apologies for that. Let's just get this. Get this sorted. We've got today's goals from around the Premier League. Apart from, I don't have the Liverpool highlights yet, but that will be out, no doubt, tomorrow. It might be out a little bit later, but we're pushing midnight now, and it's still not out yet. So hopefully, if you wanted to see those goals, you might have seen it on Match of the Day, or you might find it on YouTube somewhere. But I don't have it currently. Apologies. But getting back to Manchester City taking on Everton. Started off well for Manchester City with taking the lead on 14 minutes through Bernardo Silva with an assist from Jeremy Doku. And I made it 1-1 though on 36 minutes. You can see at the top there. Silva celebrating. But on 36 minutes, and I made it 1-1, and that's the way it stayed. In the second half, there was a penalty on 53 minutes for Manchester City that was saved by Pickford in Everton's goal, and Haaland missed the penalty. He did put the rebound back in, but he was adjudged to have been offside. So it did finish Manchester City 1, Everton 1. Moving on to Bournemouth. That game finished Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0. Not a lot happening. 2 yellow cards in the first half. 2 yellow cards in the second half. And that yellow card in the first half for Clivert, that was given for holding. That means he misses the next match. Gay for Crystal Palace, he got booked on 60 minutes, and that means he misses the next match. But apart from that, 0-0. I think we can move on. Next up, we had Chelsea and Fulham. That was an eventful game, as you can see, as you're looking at the screen down to the bottom left. Finished Chelsea 1, Fulham 2. Cole Palmer opened the scoring for Chelsea on 16 minutes with an assist from Colwill. Stayed that way until half-time. In the second half, on 82 minutes, Fulham equalised through Wilson with an assist from Castagna. And deep into stoppage time, the 95th minute, Fulham took the lead through Rodrigo Muniz, making it 1-2 to Fulham. And that's the way it stayed. So a disappointing day there for Chelsea. 2 yellow cards in the first half and 2 yellow cards in the second half. All 3 points going to Fulham. Oh, we've just flicked over. We've got to flick back there. It's just gone midnight. Next up, we had Newcastle. They took on Aston Villa. An early goal on 2 minutes from Anthony Gordon with an assist from Joe Linton. And in the first half also, There was a red card for Aston Villa. Duran, he saw red for roughing on 32 minutes. There was also Matty Cash. He got a yellow card for Aston Villa on 14 minutes. That means he misses the next match. So it was 1-0 at half-time to Newcastle. 3 yellows and a red in the first half. In the second half, on 59 minutes, Isak made it 2-0 for Newcastle. And that is the way it stayed until the 91st minute when Joe Linton made it 3-0 for the Tsunami. There was also a goal on 81 minutes for Guimaraes that was disallowed by VAR for handball. At the time when I saw that, I thought it was a little bit harsh, to be honest, but VAR getting involved again and doing their thing. No yellow cards in the second half, so just the 3 in the first half and a red. And Newcastle ending Aston Villa's decent run that they've been on. Moving on to Nottingham Forest and Tottenham. It finished Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0. It was Anthony Elanga on 28 minutes with an assist from Gibbs White, making it 1-0 to Forest, and that's the way it stayed. 2 yellow cards in the first half, flurry of cards in the second half. There was 4 yellows, and in the 94th minute, a red for Spence for Tottenham. That was for 2 yellows. So Tottenham's inconsistent form continues. And Forest, they're on the up and up. It finished Southampton 0, West Ham 1. Just a 1 yellow card in the first half for Wood for Southampton, 0-0 at half-time. And it wasn't until 59 minutes that Jared Bowen managed to put West Ham in the lead with an assist from Fulkrug. That was the only goal of the game. 2 yellow cards in the second half, 3 in total for the match. From what I've seen, a pretty ordinary affair, to be honest. The highlights are down at the... Where are the highlights? They're at the top. Yeah, not the best of matches, to be honest. If you're a Wolves supporter, your new manager, he's doing the job for you. Finished Wolves 2, Manchester United 0. In the first half, there was just 3 yellow cards, including 1 for Bruno Fernandes. 0-0 at half-time. In the second half, just 2 minutes into the second half, Bruno Fernandes got his second yellow and his marching orders. Can't complain either at it. He caught... not sure which player he caught, but it was down his shin and then onto his ankle. It was a yellow card. In 2 minutes later, Wolves thought they'd taken the lead, but Larsson was adjudged to be offside by VAR. Clearly offside by VAR as well. Got worse for Manchester United when, on 54 minutes, Ugarte got a yellow card. That means he misses the next match. And on 58 minutes, Kuna made it Wolves 1, Manchester United 0. And with almost the last kick of the game in the 99th minute, Hwang Hee-chan made it 2-0 to Wolves. So the problems at Old Trafford deepen. And there's a glimmer of hope for this season now for Wolves. We'll see how that finishes the end, come the end of the season. The final game tonight was saw Liverpool, the league leaders, in action. They hosted Leicester City. It took just 6 minutes before the first goal was scored, but it came from Leicester, Jordan Ayew, with an assist from Mavididi. Made it 1-0 to the away side. However, just before half-time, Cody Gakpo levelled things up with an assist from McAllister, so it was 1-1 at half-time. It took just 4 minutes in the second half before Curtis Jones put Liverpool in the lead, making it 2-1. Liverpool had a goal disallowed for Gakpo on 68 minutes for offside. That was by VAR. Szoboszlai, he misses the next match for getting a yellow card for roughing. And on the 82nd minute, Mo Salah wrapped the points up for Liverpool, making it 3-1, an assist from Cody Gakpo. So that was your Premier League roundup for today. Liverpool, they're sitting top, or in first place on top on 42 points. Having played a game less than Chelsea, who are in second on 35. It's all looking peachy if you're a fan of Liverpool. 3 wins and 2 draws from the last 5 matches. That's decent form. Chelsea losing today has not helped their cause, losing at home to Fulham. Best form of the top 6, really, you've got to say, is Nottingham Forest winning 4 of the last 5 games. Just that one loss to Manchester City. Arsenal, they play tomorrow. They're sitting 4th on 33 points. And Newcastle, they're in 5th on 29 points. Bournemouth are in 6th on 29 points also. Manchester City, they're now in 7th place on 28 points, level with Fulham and Aston Villa. Brighton sit in 10th on 25 points. Tottenham are in 11th on 23 points. Brentford are in 12th, also on 23. West Ham in 13th, also on 23. West Ham's goal difference, though, is -7. Manchester United, they're in 14th place on 22 points. They've had just 1 win from the last 5 games. The other 4, all defeats. Just below Manchester United now are Everton in 15th. They've had their last 3 games have been draws. Then came before that, they beat Wolves 4-0, and their only loss was to Manchester United at Old Trafford. So Everton are picking up points. Crystal Palace, they're in 16th on 17 points, level with Everton. Wolves, they move out of the drop zone now. They sit in 17th with 15 points. Leicester move into the drop zone. And Ipswich, they remain in 19th on 12 points. Southampton rooted to the bottom with just 6 points to the name. And that is how the Premier League stands at the moment. Moving over to the English Championship. Disappointing day if you're a Plymouth Argyle fan. We'll go through the results. Starting with Stoke playing Leeds. It finished Stoke 0, Leeds 2. Pirro on 42 minutes giving Leeds the lead. It stayed that way until half-time. In the second half, it was Pirro again on 63 minutes, making it 2-0 to Leeds, and that's the way it stayed. 2 yellow cards in the second half, 2 in the first half. Next up, we've got Derby. They beat West Brom 2-1. It took 28 minutes before a goal was scored. It went to Derby, making it 1-0. And in the second half, it was on 68 minutes, Holgate with an own goal, making it 2-0 to Derby. And in the 81st minute, Diangana made it 2-1. Too little too late for West Brom to get anything out of that game. 1 yellow card in the second half and 1 in the first half, but it finished Derby 2, West Brom 1. Moving on to an eventful game at Ewood Park. Blackburn 2, Sunderland 2. Ohashi on 13 minutes gave Blackburn the lead, and it stayed that way up until half time. Two quick goals in the second half, though, for Sunderland, with Rigg on 51 minutes and Isidore on 55 minutes. That made it Blackburn 1, Sunderland 2. But late on in the 90th minute, Leonard got an equaliser for Blackburn. That is the way it finished, 2-2. In the second half, there were 3 yellow cards, 2 yellow cards in the first half, so 5 in total. Blackburn 2, Sunderland 2. Bristol City hosted Luton. It finished Bristol City 1, Luton 0. It was the only goal of the game. It was 0-0 at half-time. On 47 minutes, Twine, with an assist from Bird, made it 1-0 to Bristol City. And that's all she wrote. They took all 3 points. There was 3 yellow cards in the match. And a 1-0 victory for Bristol City over Luton. Coventry hosted struggling Plymouth Argyle. It took just 5 minutes before Sakamoto made it 1-0 to Coventry. And on 20 minutes, Eccles, with an assist from Mason Clark, he made it 2-0. On 39 minutes, Mason Clark scored himself, this time with the assist from Eccles, returning the favour. That made it 3-0. And on 45 minutes, at the end of the first half, Eccles again. He made it 4-0 to Coventry. No goals in the second half. There was a yellow card for Plymouth. And also, in the 87th minute, Wright, he got sent off. I saw the tackle. Wasn't a good tackle. Sliding through the back of his opponent. And the referee decided a red was sufficient. And that's what he gave him. So Plymouth Argyle go down at Coventry by 4-0. You know where they stay in the table, at the bottom. An eventful game up in the northeast. Middlesbrough 3, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Started well for Middlesbrough on 5 minutes with Doak making it 1-0. On 15 minutes, Finn Azaz made it 2-0. And on 30 minutes, Azaz again making it 3-0. A lot of the Sheffield Wednesday fans were walking out of the ground before half-time. And they might regret that because on 47 minutes, Ingleson pulled one back for Sheffield Wednesday. On 54 minutes, Windass pulled another one back for Sheffield Wednesday, making it 3-2 to Middlesbrough. And on 55 minutes, Vandenberg for Middlesbrough, he got a second yellow, and he was off with a red card. On 61 minutes, Valerie made it 3-3. And by the end of the game, it looked like the comeback was complete, and it looked like Sheffield Wednesday were going to go on and take all 3 points there. As happens, they didn't. It finished 3-3. But I did say in the live commentary this afternoon, the Sheffield Wednesday fans who were walking out, you pay them money to go and watch the match, you do all the travelling, and then you walk out because it's 3-0. Stick behind your team regardless. You missed a good comeback. Norwich, they hosted Millwall. It finished Norwich 2, Millwall 1. Took just 4 minutes for Marcondes to make it 1-0 to Norwich. Just before half-time on 39 minutes, Schwartor made it 2-0 to Norwich. In the second half, SA pulled one back for Millwall. Too little, too late, and that was the final score. 3 yellow cards in the second half as well, but it did finish Norwich 2, Millwall 1. Big game at the bottom of the table in the Championship. it finished Oxford United 3, Cardiff City 2. Both those teams before the start of play today were in the bottom three. Oxford now move out of it with that result, and I think Hull have moved into it. We'll go through the league table in a minute. But it was a tight first half, a tensifer, as you would expect. But on 41 minutes, Harris put Oxford into the lead. In the second half, on 53 minutes, Brown increased that lead to 2-0. And on 57 minutes, Plachetta made it 3-0 to Oxford, and it seemed like a stroll in the park. However, 82 minutes the comeback started, Ashford scoring for Cardiff, and 5 minutes into added on time, Robinson made it 3-2. And just for a moment, you thought, was Cardiff going to get some ridiculous comeback? It wasn't to be, though. Just running out of time, and it finished Oxford 3, Cardiff 2. Just looking at the cards, there was 2 cards in the second half, no cards in the first half. So Cardiff remain in the bottom three. Oxford United, like I said, they move out of the relegation places now. So a big win for them. Preston played host to Hull. It finished Preston 1, Hull 0. Just 1 yellow card in the first half. In the second half, the only goal of the game came in the 60th minute from Potts. And that gave all 3 points to Preston and put Hull into the relegation places. There was 1 yellow card in the first half and 3 yellow cards in the second half. Sheffield United, they hosted Burnley. It was a pretty quiet first half, just 2 yellow cards, and it wasn't until the 43rd minute Brownhill put Burnley into the lead, making it 1-0 at half-time. On 53 minutes, Fleming made it 2-0 to Burnley, and that's the way it finished. Just 2 yellow cards as well in that second half. 4 in total in the match. Swansea, they played host to QPR, finished Swansea 3, QPR 0. All the goals coming in the first half. 12 minutes, Cullen made it 1-0 with an assist from Ronald. And in the 28th minute, Cullen was on the score sheet again with an assist from Key, making it 2-0. And in the 33rd minute, Franco made his own goal there, 3-0. That's the way it stayed in the second half as well. 2 yellow cards in the first half and 3 yellow cards in the second half. Swansea 3, QPR 0. Finally, in the Championship, Watford 2, Portsmouth 1. Portsmouth took the lead on the 10th minute through Swanson. That's the way it went in at half-time. Just 1 yellow card in the first half. However, on 57 minutes, Kayemba scored a penalty for Watford. And late on in that game, it was in the 95th minute, Vata made it 2-1 for Watford. There was also a sending off in the 98th minute for Bart. He was not on the pitch. I saw this and it was Vata who was... There was some celebrating going on in front of the Portsmouth fans at the end there, and the players took offence to that. It all got a little bit nasty. No doubt something continued after the match, maybe down the tunnel as well. But Bart did get sent off, not on the pitch. Watford took all 3 points, beating Portsmouth 2-1 with the latest of late goals. Let's have a look at the standings in the Championship. Leeds sit in first place on 48 points, having played 23 games. Sheffield United, they're also on 48 points. They sit in second after they lost today. to Burnley. They sit in second on goal difference with Leeds have got a 9 superior goal difference. Burnley, they're in third place on 47 points. Sunderland sitting fourth on 44 points. Blackburn in fifth on 38 points. Watford in sixth now on 37 points. Middlesbrough, they dropped down one to seventh on 36 points. Then it's West Brom, 35 points. Sheffield Wednesday on 33 points. Swansea, they're sitting 10th on 30 points, level with Bristol City, who sit in 11th. Norwich are in 12th with 29 points. Millwall in 13th on 28 points. 4 losses, 1 win from the last 5 games for Millwall. Could do with tidying that up a little bit. Derby are in 14th on 27 points. Coventry in 15th on 27 points. Preston, they sit in 16th on 26 points, just 1 above QPR in 17th on 25 points. Luton are also on 25 points. They sit in 18th. Then we're looking at Stoke in 19th place. They're on 22 points. Oxford, who got that vital win today over Cardiff, they move into 20th spot on 21 points now. Portsmouth, after that late defeat to Watford, they dropped just 1 outside the drop zone now in 21st place on 20 points. And Hull, after they got beat by Preston, they do move into the bottom 3 now in 22nd place on 19 points. Cardiff, they remain in 23rd on 18. Plymouth Argyle, they're bottom of the league on 18 points, but the goal difference is awful. It's minus 27. That's going to haunt them all season, that goal difference is diabolical. And that is the Championship. We can move over to League One. Starting off with Birmingham, they hosted Burton. It finished Birmingham 2, Burton 0. Stansfield with a penalty on 26 minutes, making it 1-0 to the home side. And that stayed like that until half-time. Just 1 yellow card in the first half. Then on 56 minutes, Crockham with an own goal made it 2-0 to Birmingham, and that's how it finished. Just the 2 yellow cards in the match as well. Bolton hosted Barnsley. Bolton take the lead on 26 minutes through Lawless with an assist from McAtee. It was like that at half-time, but in the second half, in the 80th minute, Keeler Dunn made it 1-1, and in the 89th minute, Phillips made it 1-2. Barnsley taking a late lead, and that's the way it finished. 1 yellow card in the first half, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow cards in the second half. So 7 in total. And Bolton throwing away what looked like 3 points that were coming their way. It finished Bolton 1, Barnsley 2. Charlton hosted Cambridge United. That game finished Charlton 2, Cambridge United 1. Charlton taking an early lead in the first minute from Campbell. And on 20 minutes, Leeburn doubled the lead, making it 2-0. That's the way they went in at half-time. Kachunga on 51 minutes pulled one back for Cambridge United, but it wasn't enough. And it finished Charlton 2, Cambridge United 1. Just the 1 yellow card in the game too. Everybody being well behaved on Boxing Day. this was another topsy-turvy game. Exeter 3, Bristol Rovers 1. 3 yellow cards in the first half, no goals. Then on the 61st minute, Omachia made it 0-1 to Bristol Rovers. However, in the 72nd minute, Fitzwater equalised for Exeter. And on 78 minutes, Ali made it 2-1 to Exeter. 6 minutes into added on time, Richards again on the score sheet, wrapping up all 3 points for Exeter. And it finished Exeter 1, Bristol Rovers, Exeter 3, sorry, Bristol Rovers 1. 3 yellow cards in the first half, just the 1 yellow card in the second half. Huddersfield hosted Stockport. Stockport have been going well of late. However, it finished Huddersfield 1, Stockport 0. It was an own goal in the very first minute from Bate. That was the only goal of the game. 1 yellow card in the first half and 2 yellow cards in the second half. Not a lot more you can say about that. Huddersfield 1, Stockport 0. Peterborough hosted an in-form Mansfield. It finished Peterborough 0, Mansfield 3. All the goals came in the first half. It took 6 minutes before Mansfield took the lead through Cargill. Then just 3 minutes later, on 9 minutes, Evans made it 2-0 to the visitors. And Evans again on 31 minutes, making it Peterborough 0, Mansfield 3. No goals in the second half, and there was quite a few yellow cards actually in the second half. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 yellow cards in the second half, and a red card for Nevitt on 86 minutes for Peterborough. But it finished Peterborough 0, Mansfield 3. Reading played host to Northampton. This game finished Reading 4, Northampton 1. 5 minutes it took before Harvey Nibbs made it 1-0 to the home side. On 28 minutes, Smith made it 2-0 to Reading. Just 1 yellow card in that first half. And it was 2-0 at half-time. On 75 minutes, Savage made it 3-0 to Reading. 81 minutes, Eves pulled one back for Northampton, but it wasn't to be their day. And on 87 minutes, Kamara made it 4-1. That was the final score. 1 yellow card in the second half, 1 yellow card in the first half. It finished Reading 4, Northampton 1. Rotherham hosted Wigan. It took 3 minutes into added on time at the end of the first half for the first goal of the game. That came to Wigan. It was to Adiko. In the second half, there was just 2 yellow cards, no further goals, and it finished Rotherham 0, Wigan 1. Shrewsbury, they hosted Lincoln. It took 9 minutes before there was a goal. That came to Feeney, making it 1-0 to Shrewsbury. They went in at half-time at 1-0. 4 yellow cards in the first half. In the second half, there was a further 4 yellow cards. And in the 89th minute, Marquis missed a penalty for Shrewsbury. Could have doubled the lead there, but it didn't matter because it finished Shrewsbury 1, Lincoln 0. Stevenage, they played host to Wickham. Wickham took the lead on 8 minutes through Corn. Corn got his second on 43 minutes, making it 2-0 to Wickham. Just a 1 yellow card in the first half, but 2-0 at half-time to the away side. In the second half, on 66 minutes, Lubala made it 3-0 to Wickham. There was a missed penalty as well for Corn, which would have made it 4-0 to Wycombe, but it did finish Stevenage 0, Wycombe 3. There was 2 yellow cards in that second half, just the one in the first half. Big money high flyers Wrexham. They hosted Blackpool. It was Blackpool who took the lead on the third minute through Fletcher. Mullin on 24 minutes equalised for Wrexham, and that's the way it stayed until half time. In the second half, Fletcher on 88 minutes slotted a penalty away, making it 2-1 to Wrexham. And that's the way it stayed. Just a 1 yellow card in the game. That was her husband in the second half for Blackpool. And it finished Wrexham 2, Blackpool 1. And finally, in the first division, Leyton Orient in the early game. That was a 1 o'clock kickoff. They hosted Crawley. It took 33 minutes before Leyton Orient took the lead. Kelman with the goal. 2 yellow cards in the first half. In the second half, on 50 minutes, Agyai made it 2-0 to Leyton Orient, and on 55 minutes, Beckles made it 3-0 to the Orient. There was 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow cards in the second half, 2 yellow cards in the first half, but it did finish Leyton Orient 3, Crawley 0. Let's have a look at the standings in League One. Birmingham sit on top now from Wycombe. Birmingham are on 48 points. Wycombe are on 47 points in second, but Birmingham have got a game in hand as well. Birmingham have won the last 5 games. Wrexham, they're in third on 45 points. Huddersfield are in fourth on 42 points. Stockport, like I said, who've been going well, they're in fifth on 36 points, but they did lose today, 1-0 away at Huddersfield. Reading occupy sixth on 34 points. A good result for them today, beating Northampton 4-1. Then you've got Barnsley in 7th on 33 points with a comeback against Bolton Wanderers. Mansfield, they're in 8th on 31 points. Lincoln in 9th, also on 31 points. And Bolton in 10th, also on 31 points. Then we're looking at Charlton. They sit in 11th on 30 points. Exeter in 12th on 30 points. A good result for Exeter today, coming back against Bristol Rovers to win 3-1 after they were losing 1-0. Leyton Orient, they're in 13th on 28 points. Wigan in 14th on 27. Blackpool in 15th on 27. Stevenage in 16th on 26. And Peterborough in 17th on 24. Rotherham occupy 18th on 23. Bristol Rovers in 19th on 22. And just outside the drop zone now, Northampton in 20th with 21 points. They've lost 4 of the last 5 games, Northampton. Perilously close now to getting in the drop zone. Crawley, they are in the drop zone in 21st on 19 points. Just below them in 22nd place are Cambridge United on 17 points. Shrewsbury in 23rd place with 15 points. And right at the bottom of the league in 24th place are Burton with just 12 points. Moving over to League 2. AFC Wimbledon, they hosted Swindon. It took 10 minutes for Swindon to get the opening goal through Smith with an assist from Cottrell. It stayed that way until half time. Then on the 56th minute, Tilly made it 1-1, and there was 2 yellow cards in the second half. And that was all that really happened in that match. It finished AFC Wimbledon 1, Swindon Town 1. Bradford City, they hosted Port Vale. Bradford City took the lead on 3 minutes through Cook, making it 1-0. There was a further 2 yellow cards in the first half, but it stayed that way until half-time. In the second half, Hackford on 50 minutes made it 1-1. But on 59 minutes, Cook again made it 2-1 to Bradford City. And that's the way it stayed. 2 yellow cards in the first half, 3 yellow cards and a red card in the second half. But it did finish Bradford City 2, Port Vale 1. Bromley hosted Newport, a high-scoring game. Bromley opened the scoring on 27 minutes through Sawumni, and on 35 minutes Reynolds made it 2-0 to Bromley. That's the way they went in at half-time, no yellow cards. In the second half, on 53 minutes, Cheap made it 3-0 to Bromley. And on 70 minutes, Arthurs made it 4-0 to Bromley. But there was a little bit of a comeback started by Newport, and on 72 minutes, Evans made it 4-1. And on 79 minutes, Whitmore made it 4-2. Newport scoring a couple of quick goals there, but it was wrapped up on the 93rd minute by Thompson for Bromley, making it Bromley 5, Newport 2. No yellow cards in the second half, no yellow cards in the first half. Everybody well behaved there. Can't say the same in the Carlisle-Morecambe match. There was 1 yellow card in the first half. Then in the second half, Edwards made it 1-0 to Morecambe. On 62 minutes, Mellish got sent off for Carlisle. And that's the way it stayed. In the second half, there were 3 yellow cards and a red card. 1 yellow card in the first half. Carlisle 0, Morecambe 1. Cheltenham played host to Inform Crewe. 1 yellow card in the first half, 0-0 at half-time. Crewe took the lead on 56 minutes through Lancaster. And on 70 minutes, Colwell, he equalised for Cheltenham. On 83 minutes, Colwell got his second, making it 2-1 to Cheltenham. And that's the way it stayed. There was 4 yellow cards in the second half, 1 yellow card in the first half. And that finished Cheltenham 2, Crewe 1. Colchester, they hosted Gillingham. Taylor on 6 minutes put Colchester in the lead. It stayed that way until half-time. In the second half, not a lot happened until the 85th minute when Gordon made it 2-0 to Colchester. And that's the way it finished. Colchester 2, Gillingham 0. 4 yellow cards in the second half, none in the first. Fleetwood hosted Chesterfield. Fleetwood took the lead on 28 minutes through Virtue Thick. There was 1 yellow card in the first half. In the second half, nothing really happened until the 87th minute when Harrott made it 2-0 to Fleetwood. And that's the way it stayed, the score. 4 yellow cards in the second half, 1 yellow card in the first half. Fleetwood 2, Chesterfield 0. Harrogate made the trip to Grimsby. Grimsby took the lead on the 55th minute. Nothing happened in the first half, no goals, no cards. But Curry changed that, making it 1-0 to Grimsby on the 55th minute. On the 74th minute, Svan Thorsen made it 2-0 to Grimsby, and Harrogate did pull one back before the end through Duke McKenna on 82 minutes. Too little, too late, and that game finished Grimsby 2, Harrogate 0. 4 yellow cards, all coming in the second half. MK Dons, they played host to Notts County. 3 yellow cards in the first half, 0-0 at half time. On 57 minutes, Abbott made it 1-0 to Notts County, and Crowley on 71 minutes doubled the lead, making it 2-0 to Notts County. That's the way it ended. 5 yellow cards in the match, and it finished MK Dons 0, Notts County 2. Salford hosted Barrow. Salford took the lead on 21 minutes through Garbett, and Fauna on 33 minutes made it 2-0 to Salford. The Armies going in at half-time with a 2-0 lead. 4 yellow cards in that first half. In the second half, there was a goal on 80 minutes from Kouassi, and Fauna on 84 minutes for Salford. He got a second yellow and he saw red. So in the second half, there was 4 yellow cards in the first half. 2 yellows and a red in the second half, but it did finish Salford 3, Barrow 0. Finally, in League 2, Walsall hosted Doncaster, 0-0 at half-time, just the 1 yellow card in the first half. Then on 47 minutes, Law made it 1-0 to Walsall. And on 79 minutes, Williams wrapped up the points for the home team, making it 2-0. Walsall 2, Doncaster 0. 2 yellow cards in the second half, 1 yellow card in the first half. Let's have a look at the league table. Walsall, they sit comfortably at the top on 46 points, having won the last 5. Port Vale are in second on 37 points. Doncaster in third on 36 points. Then in the playoff positions, it's Crewe, AFC Wimbledon, Chesterfield and Notts County. They're all on 34 points, apart from Crewe, who are on 35. Grimsby, they're also on 34 points. They sit in 8th. They're just outside the playoff places on goal difference. Salford are in 9th on 33 points. Bradford City 10th on 31 points. MK Dons, they occupy 11th, 30 points, level with Bromley in 12th on 30 points and Gillingham in 13th on 30 points, and also Cheltenham in 14th, all on 30 points. So it's tight in the middle of that table. Colchester, they're in 15th with 26 points. Then you've got Fleetwood, Barrow and Newport. They're all on 26 points. Tranmere, they sit in 19th place on 21 points. Their game today was abandoned. I think that was due to, I think it was fog. But it was abandoned before it even got started. Harrogate, they're in 20th on 21 points. Swindon in 21st on 20 points. Accrington, who should have played today against Tranmere, they're in 22nd place with 19 points. And in the relegation places, in 23rd place, Morecambe on 17 points, and Carlisle, bottom of the table, in 24th on 15 points. And that was all you had from the English main divisions. We'll go through the national leagues quickly. We'll have a look at the league. If you want to know all the scores from these In fact, we will do them. I did them on the live show, but if anybody's missed them, we'll do them again now. It'll take 2 minutes to read them out. It finished AFC Fylde 1, Rochdale 3, Aldershot 2, Woking 2, Altrincham 0, FC Halifax 0, Barnet 3, Sutton 3, Boston United 0, Solihull Moors 1, Dagenham and Redbridge 2, Braintree 4, Gateshead 4, Hartlepool 3, Maidenhead 3, Wealdstone 1, Southend 4, Ebbsfleet 0, Tamworth 1, Forest Green 1, Yeovil 2, Eastleigh 2. Let's have a look at the standings there. Barnet remain on top on 49 points. York City are in second on 48 points. Then Forest Green in third and Gateshead in fourth. They're both on 47 points. Last playoff places are Oldham on 43 points, Rochdale on 39 points, Solihull Moors, they're in seventh, and the final playoff spot on 38 points. Down at the bottom, Maidenhead are in 21st on 23 points, AFC Fylde in 22nd with 22 points, Boston United are in 23rd with 15 points, and finally at the very bottom in 24th place it's Ebbsfleet. They're on 9 points, having lost their last 4 and just 1 draw. Moving on to National League North. Brackley Town 2, Leamington 1, Buxton 3, Alfreton 2, Curzon Ashton 1, Farsley 3, Darlington 4, Scarborough 3, Kings Lynn 2, Needham Market 2, Marine 2, Chester 3, Peterborough Sports 0, Scunthorpe 1, Radcliffe 1, Chorley 0. That game was abandoned. That was due to a floodlight power failure. So if you've had a bet on that, check your coupon, check your rules with your bookmaker. Southport 2, Warrington 0, Spennymoor 1, South Shields 1, Hereford 0, Kidderminster 3, and Rushall 1, Oxford City 2. League standings are as follows. Kidderminster sit on top with 43 points. Curzon Ashton and Kings Lynn in second and third, both on 42 points. Then you've got Scunthorpe in fourth on 41 points. Buxton in fifth and Chorley in sixth, both on 38 points. And in the final playoff spot, Hereford in seventh with 37 points. Down at the bottom, in 21st place, Radcliffe, they're on 18 points. Marine, they sit in 22nd place on 18 points. Needham Market in 23rd on 18 points. And Rushall right at the bottom in 24th. They've got just 12 points, having lost all of their last 5 games. Moving on to the National League South. Chippenham 0, Bath 3, Dorking 1, Worthing 2, Eastbourne Borough 0, Salisbury 0, Enfield Town 0, Boreham Wood 2, Farnborough 0, Hampton and Richmond 0, Hemel Hempstead 1, St Albans 1. That game was abandoned before the end, so once again, check with your bookmakers if you've had a bet on that one, find out what the rules are. Truro 1, Weston-super-Mare 1, Welling 0, Chelmsford 1, Weymouth 2, Torquay United 2, Aveley 1, Hornchurch 1, Slough 1, Chesham 1, Tonebridge 1, Maidstone 3. league standings are: Torquay sit on top with 44 points, Boreham Wood in second on 43 points, Maidstone in third on 42 points, Truro in fourth on 42, Worthing in fifth on 42, and the final playoff places are Dorking 6th, Weston-super-Mare 7th, both on 40 points. Eastbourne Borough are also on 40 points, but they're just outside the playoff places with a slightly, it's not slightly, there's 6 in it actually, worse goal difference than Weston-super-Mare. At the bottom, Aveley, they're in 21st place on 16 points. Enfield in 22nd with 15 points. St Albans in 23rd with 14 points. Weymouth at the very bottom, 24th place, also with 14 points. Just moving on to the Southern League Premier Central. AFC Telford 2, Hales Owen 0, Alvechurch 1, Stratford 2, Barwell 2, Harborough 2, Bronsgrove 2, Stourbridge 0, Kettering 3, Biggleswade Town 1, Redditch 0, Banbury 0, Stamford 1, Spalding United 1, Bedford 2, Hitchin 1, Leicester 7, Lowestoft 2, St Ives 0, Royston 1, Sudbury 1, Bishop Stortford 2. Standings for the Southern League Premier Central: Kettering are in top spot on 43 points, Hales Owen in second on 39 points, AFC Telford in third on 38 points, Stratford in fourth on 36 points, and Bedford are in fifth on 34 points. Down at the bottom, Lowestoft, they're on 24 points. They sit in 19th. Bromsgrove are in 20th with 23 points. Hitchin in 21st with 16 points. Languishing at the bottom, Biggleswade Town in 22nd with just 11 points. Just looking at the Southern League Premier South, Basingstoke 2, Marlow 2, Frome 5, Plymouth Parkway 0, Gloucester 3, Swindon 1, Hanwell Town 1, Chertsey 2, Havant and Waterlooville 3, Gosport 1, Hungerford 1, Merthyr Town 3, Poole 1, Dorchester 1, Tiverton 0, Taunton 3, Walton and Hersham 2, Bracknell 0, Sholing 0, Wimborne 1, and Winchester 1, AFC Totton 4. Standings wise, Merthyr Town, they're on top with 50 points. AFC Totton second place with 46 points. Gloucester in third with 42 points. Hamilton Waterlooville in fourth with 39 points. And in the final playoff spot, Dorchester occupy that in fifth with 35 points. Down at the bottom, Tiverton are in 19th place with 19 points. Plymouth Parkway in 20th with 17 points. Frome in 21st on 17. And Marlow, they are rock bottom in 22nd place with just 13 points. Moving over to the Istiman League. Cray Valley 3, Chatham 3, Dulwich Hamlet 1, Carshalton 0, Hastings 0, Dover 2, Horsham FC 2, Bognor Regis 1, Lewes 0, Folkestone 0, Billericay 3, Canby Island 0, Bowers and Pitsea 2, hashtag 2, Dartford 2, Cray Wanderers 1, Hendon 0, Potters Bar 4, Wingate and Finchley 0, Cheshunt 1. League standings for the Easterman League Premier Division are Dover sit on top with 49 points. Billericay, they're in second with, I'll stop doing that, 42 points, I won't. Then third, Cray Valley, they're on 42 points also. Fourth place is Dartford on 39, and Chatham, they're in the final playoff spot with 32 points. Down at the bottom, White Hawk sitting 19th with 20 points, level with Hastings in 20th, also on 20 points. Bowes and Pitsea, they're in 21st on 17 points, and at the very bottom, 22nd place, Bognor Regis with just 13 points. So that's all for England today. Moving on to Scotland, we had Scottish Premiership today. A good day if you're a Celtic fan. St Mirren hosted Rangers. It took 30 minutes before St Mirren took the lead with a Smythe penalty. 4 yellow cards in that first half. Danilo on 61 minutes equalised for Rangers. However, in the 93rd minute, Boyd Munce made it 2-1 to St Mirren. And that's the way it finished. St Mirren 2, Rangers 1. Like I say, 4 yellow cards in the first half. Just a 1 yellow card in the second half, but a disappointing result there for Rangers. Celtic hosted Motherwell. 46 minutes it took before the first goal came. 1 minute into added on time at the end of the first half. It was Engels with a penalty for Celtic. 5 yellow cards in that first half. In the second half, on 57 minutes, Maeda made it 2-0 to Celtic. And on the 74th minute, Kuhn made it 3-0 for Celtic before Hatate on 81 minutes wrapped it up for Celtic. Celtic 4, Motherwell 0. Bit of a yellow card fest in the first half. Just 1 yellow card in the second half. So made it 6 yellow cards in total, and a good result for Celtic. Dundee FC hosted Ross County. Details of that game were Ross County took the lead on 23 minutes through Chilvers. That's the way it stayed until half-time. In the second half, on 70 minutes, Nisbet made it 2-0 to Ross County. And just 8 minutes later, White, with a penalty, made it 3-0 to Ross County. And that's the way it finished. 1 yellow card in the second half, 1 yellow card in the first half. Dundee FC 0, Ross County 3. Kilmarnock played host to troubled Aberdeen. It took them just 18 minutes before Vassell made it 1-0 to Kilmarnock. It stayed that way until half-time. In the second half, Watson made it 2-0 to Kilmarnock before it all went wrong for Aberdeen. On 87 minutes, Cameron made it 3-0. And in the 93rd minute, Anderson made it 4-0. And a good thumping for Aberdeen. The wheels have come off their season. 4 yellow cards in the second half, none in the first, and just a poor result all round. If you're an Aberdeen fan, Kilmarnock 4, Aberdeen 0. St Johnstone, they played host to Dundee United. It was St Johnstone who took the lead on 44 minutes through Kirk. That's the way it stayed until half-time, but just after half-time, Middleton made it 1-1. And in the 60th minute, Dolby made it St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 2. Dundee United did have a man sent off in the 87th minute. That was Gallagher. And in the second half, there was a total of 3 yellow cards, 1 red card. And that's all the cards there was for the game, really. But it did finish St Johnstone 1, Dundee United 2. And finally, in the Scottish Premiership, Hearts hosted Hibernian in the 12:30 kick-off. An own goal by Rowles on 9 minutes gave Hibernian the lead. 2 minutes into added on time at the end of the first half, Bushiri levelled things, making it 1-1 at half-time. However, in the second half, on the 78th minute, Gale made it 1-2. Hibernian took the lead, and that's the way it finished. Hearts were woeful, I've got to say. They didn't play well at all. 2 yellow cards in the first half, 1 yellow card in the second half, and trouble is afoot for Hearts. We can have a look at the table now. Season's pretty much done, isn't it? Celtic, 47 points in first place. Rangers in second place on 35 points. Aberdeen in third on 34 points. Dundee United in fourth on 28 points. St Mirren in fifth. Won the last 3, St Mirren, going along nicely on 27 points. Motherwell in 6th on 26 points. 7th is Hibernian on 21 points, level with Kilmarnock in 8th on 21 points. Dundee FC, they sit in 9th on 19 points. Ross County in 10th with 18 points. Hearts now in 11th place, just 16 points. And holding up the table in 12th place, St Johnstone with 14 points, having a torrid time at the minute, having lost the last 3. Moving over to the Scottish Championship. No games played today. Was there anyone in League One? I'm not sure that there was. Let's have a look. I know there was some Welsh fixtures. No, I think that was it for Scotland. Moving over to the Welsh Premier. That finished Aberystwyth 0, Barletown 0. Caernarfon 2, TNS 5. The goal fest as Connors Quay took on Flint. They finished Connors Quay 7, Flint 2. Newtown 0, Haverfordwest 2. Barry 1, Penybont 2. Cardiff Metropolitan 1, Britain Ferry 3. Have a look at the standings over there in Wales. Top of the league, Penybont on 43 points, followed by TNS in second on 42 points. Haverfordwest, they're in third on 33 points. Cardiff Met, they're in fourth on 31 points. Barletown in fifth on 29 points. And Caernarfon in sixth on 28 points. At the bottom in 12th, Aberystwyth on 14th. On 14 points, sorry. In 11th, Flint are on 17 points. Britain Ferry in 10th on 17 points. Newtown on 19 points. They sit in 9th. Connors Quay 8th, 26 points. Barry in 7th on 28 points. And that is all she wrote for today's football from around the UK. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a little bit quicker way of doing it today, just an hour and 10 minutes that's took. We've got the highlights, as you can see, from around the screens from the Premier League, apart from Liverpool. I didn't have that one. What I will say at this stage is, if you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, ping that notifications bell, and if you can give us a thumbs up, that'd be superb. Have a look in a few hours for the post that will come out for Jimmy's 6-horse accumulator. It's usually 10 pence, sometimes 10 pence each way. And see how we get on there. You've got to be in it to win it. We've got 3 stream supporters for this video, which is jalexpetproducts.co.uk, heavenlypleasures.co.uk, and finally removepests.co.uk. Links in the description of this video. Check the promo codes, grab yourself a bargain, and we will be back, like I say, tomorrow with the horse racing results and sports roundup. Thank you for watching. You've been watching a football special here on Catch It Live First, a recap. I am Jimmy James. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back real soon.